There's a lot of different people that come to theme parks, and when you work at them, you see a lot of clueless guests coming in. Here's 9 ways to not be one of them, and to have a great day at the park as well. It always amazes me how many people go to a theme park, spend all this money, and have no clue what they're doing, where they're going, how they're doing it, or what's going to help them have a good day. Those are the ones that we as employees and cast members would stand back and laugh at. Can you believe they just did that? How kind of dumb, clueless person does that? You don't want to be the butt of cast member jokes. There are definitely things you can do to avoid being a clueless guest. And especially if you're spending lots of money, and if you're going to a theme park or an amusement park, you probably are, you don't want to do that. So here are 9 ways to not just avoid being a clueless guest, but to also help you have a great day at the park and thoroughly enjoy it and get the most out of your day. And have the cast members look and go, hey, there's somebody who knows what they're doing. Number 1, research the park. Get a clue to start off with. It amazes me how many people go to a park and have no clue what's there. You don't want to know how many times I would be at Magic Kingdom and have somebody walk up to me and ask, where are the kiddie rides? There is not a kiddie ride area at Disney. That's not how it works. Or you would have the other ones come up and ask, where are the real big roller coasters? Again, you're at Disney. It's not like Six Flags or Cedar Fair. That's not how the parks are. Even better, you'd have the ones that would walk up to us at Epcot and Hollywood Studios and ask, how do I get to Disney World? Well, you're doing a Mickey Mouse job of figuring out where you are because you're in it! Don't be that kind of person. Look up online, go to the park websites, they all have them, and figure out ahead of time what rides are there, what shows are there, what kind of food is there? See what is available in the park and where you are. That way when you go, you actually have a clue of what you want to do ahead of time and when you want to do it, if there's a show you want to see, if there's certain food you want to eat. Learn what's there and what you want to do. You don't even necessarily have to plan out your whole day, but you want to make sure that you're not one of those clueless people going to Walt Disney World and asking, how do I get to Harry Potter? Wrong company. Where's Shamu? And yes, people would ask us these questions because they didn't have a clue, because they didn't pay any attention and didn't research ahead of time. Spending thousands of dollars. Take some time, look over the website. Go to some fan pages if you want more detail. Reddit has its sub-forums. There are several Disney-focused websites. Any park out there pretty much is going to have a fan page on the internet somewhere. And those people are going to be very happy to give you advice. Do some research first. Number 2, download the app. Yes, pretty much every park out there now just about has an app. If you look at my phone, you can even see I've got Disneyland. I do have a Walt Disney World app on here. There's Silver Dollar City. There's Six Flags. Cedar Point has an app. Get an app. When you open up these apps, they're going to be incredibly helpful for what you want to be able to do and what you want to find. Because as you open it up, you're immediately given a map, show times, park opening, what time they're there, what you want to do. It'll give you wait times. There is so much information in this app. Download it. It's going to save you time instead of having to walk around and go, where's the bathrooms? It's in the app. How long do we gotta wait for? It's in the app. Download the app. It's going to be so helpful. And do it before you leave. Before you leave, download the app, open it up, and look it over and see what's in there. Some of the apps are absolutely amazing with the things that they can do. For Six Flags and Disney, my park tickets are in here. I don't even have to carry a ticket. I can just scan my phone and I'm in. It's amazing how it works. Get the app, learn from it, and you're going to be surprised how much time it saves you and how much more it lets you do. It's not a dumb thing to walk around a theme park and go, oh, look, I can do this now. Number 3, don't buy your tickets at the gate at the last second. Buy your tickets ahead of time. Almost invariably, if you buy them from the park online, you're going to get them cheaper than if you wait and buy them at the park itself. You're also going to save the wait time, and it can take a lot of time to buy those tickets, time you're losing that you could be in the park. You're paying for that time that you're losing standing in line. Get the most out of it you can. And most of your discounts are going to be available online. If you want to get the cheapest tickets possible, look at something like AAA. AAA gets some amazing deals on theme park tickets, and if you're a member, you can buy them online and download them right there. It's wonderful. For Disney, you can buy your tickets, get your codes, and input them into your phone. If you want some of the best discounts, online with the park's website or through AAA. Be careful of some of the other resellers, although there are some good ones out there. As you're doing that, think about a season pass. For most parks, if you're going to visit the park for 2 or 3 days over the course of a year, you are going to more than pay for that season pass. You'll pay less for the season pass and get discounts on top of it. Now, Disney's a little different because Disney's so much more expensive. Depending upon where you go, you may be looking at 5 days, or you may be looking as much as 2 weeks for Walt Disney World to get your money's worth out of that pass. But consider it if you're going to be there for a little bit. It can pay for itself. It's why when we had a patron bless us with a trip to Walt Disney World a year and a half ago, and I knew I had at least 2 other opportunities to visit, we took that money that he paid for the ticket and we applied it to a season pass, and we actually saved more money overall than if we had done it the other way. Consider that. It's a great way to save money on those tickets. Number 4, avoid the crowds. You don't want to be that person during Christmas or on a Saturday going, "Why is it so crowded? Why is everybody here? I hate it because it's always so crowded." Well, duh, you picked the busiest time to go. If you want to avoid the crowds, go on a weekday. Don't go on holidays. Go at times when school is in session. That's the big hint on if a park will be crowded that day. Is school in session? If schools are generally in session, the park's going to be less busy, and especially if it is right after a big vacation time and everybody has to be there, or right before a big vacation time. Early December is a good time to go visit and see the holiday stuff, but the last weeks of November when Thanksgiving is there, and the last 2 weeks of December during Christmas week, don't go anywhere near it. Same thing with Saturdays. People are free on Saturdays and Sundays, so they're busier. Same thing with a Friday night. Go on a Tuesday or Wednesday when people are at work and school, and you'll have lighter crowds. If you go, "Oh, it's my normal day off, let's go someplace," well, probably everybody else is thinking the same thing. Don't be everybody else. Oh, and by the way, light rain days are awesome because people don't like being out in the rain, and they'll leave and you can stay and enjoy it. Rain days at Magic Mountain were my favorite days. Number 5, don't dress like a goober. There are certain common sense things when you go to a park that should dictate what you should wear. Don't wear a shirt with an obscene word on it, or a crude picture, or something that's going to offend people. Hello? They're probably not going to let you in the park with that on. And don't hide it in your bag and put it on later, because then you'll get escorted out. Durr! Don't wear high heels! And I mean that to guys as well as girls. Yes, I have seen guys wear heels. You're going to be walking all day. Most parks you can expect to walk between 5 and 10 miles over the course of a day. You don't want to do that with heels or uncomfortable shoes or something that causes blisters. Wear comfortable shoes. If it's cool outside, take a jacket. If it's hot, wear shorts. I watched one guy walk around Walt Disney World, Florida, in July with a huge heavy overcoat on. Hello? It's 95 degrees and humid as all get out and you got a coat on? Again, most of this is common sense. Don't wear something that people aren't going to want to see. Don't wear something that's going to show more of you than people want to see. So hip hugger shorts and high riders and tank tops? No. Bathing suits in parks? No, not unless it's a water park, and keep it in the water park, please. Just use some common sense. And I know somebody's going to ask me, well, what about wearing Universal shirts to Disney? Will they kick me out? As long as it's not an obscene one, they don't care. They want you decent, not necessarily having to line up specifically with the park. Don't wear something offensive, and no, Universal at Disney and Disney at Universal isn't offensive. It's fun. Number 6, don't be late. I'm amazed at the number of people that plan a vacation around a theme park and then they lose half of their day because they're sleeping in and taking the time. And folks, let me tell you something. You have paid big money to go to that park, and those hours that you sleep in is money you've wasted, that you have paid to be there and you're not using it. If you were getting paid $10 to $20 an hour to go do something, would you skip it? That's essentially what you're doing when you do that. Be there at park opening. It's actually what I call the golden hour. Those first couple hours the park is open, the lines are shorter, there's fewer people, you can get more done. To give you evidence of this, when I took my family to Animal Kingdom last, I made them get there before the park opened, about an hour ahead of time. And yes, they were grumbling a little bit because we hadn't had a lot of sleep and why, and hey, it's worth it, trust me. We went through the crowds, we got on Flight of Passage, which would have a 2-hour-long line later on in the day. We got on Flight of Passage, we did Navi River Journey, and we were actually going into the rest of the park before it even opened. We were in the rest of the park heading over towards Kilimanjaro Safari about 10 minutes before the park was officially supposed to open, because we were there early. And in that hour before the crowd started spreading out in the park, we got the Kilimanjaro Safari, we got Expedition Everest, and we got several other rides done that we would have had long waits for later. That hour to 2 when the park opens is golden. Don't miss it. Number 7, keep hydrated. It's amazing to me how many people will go to a park and not drink water, not drink fluids, and get sick. At the train, we had a number of times where we were half pouring water on people who were passing out in the station in the middle of summer because they hadn't been drinking fluids. And yes, we actually had a couple times we had to close the train down to clean up from the mess that they made when they got sick because they hadn't been drinking fluids and got dehydrated. I have seen this at Disney as well. This isn't hard. On hot days, get drinking water. Every park out there, if you go up to one of the counters and ask for a cup of water, is going to give you a free cup of water. Now, they will charge you for bottled water, but they'll give you a free cup of water to drink because they would rather give you free water than have you pass out. In fact, in some states, it's actually the law where they have to give it to you, but they would do it anyways. Walt Disney World is great about actually putting water jugs out there with cups right next to it so you can self-serve and get it yourself. Silver Dollar City on hot days will actually even put out little sprinklers in the park to let the kids jump in the sprinklers and cool off, and yes, us adults would do it sometimes too. Don't overheat. If you're getting hot, go inside an air-conditioned place and sit for a while or pretend to shop. Do something to keep yourself cool. You don't want to overheat. You don't want heat stroke, you don't want heat exhaustion, and drink those fluids and save us from having to clean up after you and close the rides and do all that kind of stuff, because then we're really not happy with you. Number 8, get a map and Showtime guide when you walk in. This is one of the things that people forget so often. And yes, the app is going to be great for you, but to walk in and grab this little guy, and they're available when you walk in the park, they're by the turnstiles or by guest relations, they'll have racks right at the entrance. Grab a map, grab the stuff on the back, read that, there's your shows, and it's a great reminder of, oh, that's right, I need to do this. Sometimes it's easier to pull a piece of paper out of your pocket and flip it open real quick than it is to pull the app up on the phone and go digging through. And don't hesitate to look for these. Everything you want to know is on there. It's going to tell you where the rides are, where the theaters are, where the restaurants are. It usually has descriptions of them. It'll show you where the bathrooms are. They're amazing. Don't forget your map. And plus, it's a free souvenir. Take it home when you go home, and you got a nice reminder of your whole day there, and it didn't cost you anything other than your admission. And number 9, take a break. The one thing that always amazed me was the people that would go open to close at a park, and trust me, that's me, I do that, but they wouldn't pack any rest time in, especially when you've got little kids. Oh my goodness. They get to the end of the day, and even halfway through the day, and they're tired and worn out, the kids are tired and worn out, everybody's cranky, and they're not happy, and they're mad, and they've ruined the whole day, because everybody, yeah. First off, ain't nobody want to deal with your mess when you're in that kind of a mood. You ruin it for everybody around you, and you ruin it for you and your family. Take a break. If it's in the middle of a long day, say if you're at a park that's open from 8 in the morning to midnight, that's a really long day. Take a couple hours in the middle of that to either find a quiet place in the park or go back to your hotel or do something. Just sit and do nothing except re-energize, maybe take a nap, get your energy level back up and recover. If you've got kids, definitely plan that mid-afternoon break, if at all possible, to let them recharge. It'll help you recharge as well. If you're on a multiple day vacation, plan days where there is just nothing. My last trip to Disneyland, we had 6 days that we were down there. Our day off didn't come until day 4, and we were tired by day 4. It really should have been a little bit earlier, but that's how it worked out. Get that day in the middle somewhere where you just do nothing but sit around the hotel, have a bite to eat, use the pool, sit around the hotel some more, take another nap, and don't do anything big, and just let your bodies recover, because vacation can be exhausting. Don't wear yourself out. Otherwise, you're going to be the ones that the cast members' employees are looking at and going, "Yep, they're having a lousy day and ruin it for everybody around them. They shouldn't even be here." And trust me, we did. So there's 9 ways to not be a clueless dumb guest and to get the most out of your visit at a theme park. Did I miss anything? Do you have more ideas and suggestions? Put them in the comments below. I would love to hear them. Do you have somebody planning a vacation to a theme park and needs to hear this? Make sure you hit that share button and let people know so they don't end up as one of those kinds of guests. And while you're at it, make sure you hit that thumbs up, give me a good like, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to know more about my fan pages and merchandise and equipment and other stuff, make sure you check that description below as well. There's a ton of information in there, including about memberships and patrons. My members on YouTube and my patrons on Patreon, they are the financial backbone of the channel that allows me to go out to visit parks and to hopefully not be one of these clueless guests myself. If you want to know more about supporting me, check those out. There's links in the description. There's a join button below the video, or you can check me out on Patreon. In fact, I actually want to give a shout out to my 2 new YouTube members, Craig Kolai and Tom Clock, who just signed up. Yes, Craig is also one of my patrons as well. Thank you so much for your support. And over on Patreon, my new patron, London. Yes, I've got a whole city supporting me now. Thank you so much for signing on, supporting me. Thank you for watching as well, and for sharing and liking and just being part of the community. Thank you so much, and God bless. There's several Disney focused. You'll pay for this less for the. As an example, when I went to If you'd like to know about my merchandise, fan pages, and more, be sure to check the description below. If you'd like to know whenever I've got a new video posted, well, make sure you hit that button right up there and subscribe. If you'd like to watch another one of my videos, I've got a great one for you right here. And if you'd like to be like these wonderful people here and support me financially on Patreon, well, make sure you check the link right there. There's even some extra perks for them. Thank you so much, and God bless.